Good evening and welcome to FTB Sport. And we've just witnessed a rather wonderful England-Hungary match away, the first qualifier for the World Cup, and a really satisfactory result against a Hungarian team that actually, I know they didn't get many points on the board in the Euros, but they played really well, really competitively in the Euro. And I was a little bit worried when they kicked off, but a good result. And tonight we have Mondi with us, who we know and love, Mr. B, who we know and love, and Potsy, who we also know and love. Guys, welcome to the show. And initially, when we go into the international break, I think, oh God, I was just getting warmed up about, the Premier League. And it's like, I don't want it to happen. But actually, I quite enjoyed it tonight. Mondi, did you enjoy the game? And what were your overall impressions, sir?
I thoroughly enjoyed the game. I thought it was a good game. After the Euros, first half, I was looking at how England would set up and see if they could open them up in open play. If you saw in the Euros, there was a lot of 1-0s and tight games. But I like the probing. I like how the balance we've got. I like the midfield. I like how Rice is coming back into the making a back three, and then all three of them, Maguire, Stones, and Rice, good, comfortable on the ball. Picking up half turn, both play. They had so many touches, and then you had Mount and Phillips up and down, come to receive the ball, one give, one go, and then you had out wide. You had Grealish holding up, looking nice and slick, waiting for the overlap, pop it into feet, give and go, and I like Sterling, his little arms running, driving up players, and didn't like Kane though, coming too deep and not being in the box to finish the skinner. That's why when we scored the first goal, I was saying it's free dinner for Sterling because Kane don't want that. He's never there. He's always outside the box. But really good performance. What I'm really happy about is that we've continued on from where we've seen the Euros. That sort of it's a good team. It's a really good team. When you look at it, France had 10 men. They drew the other day against a weaker team. Portugal just managed to scrape through against teams. So European football is tough. So to beat Hungary like that, if it was Italy or Spain or one of the other teams, it would be like a big result. But let's give England credit, man. They know how to open teams up, open play goals. I think Harry Maguire scored a corner from a corner or set piece or something. Otherwise, I'm really happy. Once that first goal went in, they had to open up, and suddenly, bam, 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 it was field day.
Excellent. Armandi's a happy dude. I really like that. We like a happy Armandi. That's good. Mr. B, what did you think of the game?
Yeah, I did. Maybe I'm not quite as happy as Armandi, but yeah, I like the fact. Yeah, I like the fact all the time, Armandi. All the time. Wow. Yeah, no, I enjoyed the game, to be honest. The fact that they've carried on, as Armandi said, from the Euros. England are a top nation when it comes to football, and I think the first half they dominated without scoring, and they didn't change. They didn't change what they did. I understand. I was looking at the team. Obviously, there was a few conversations we had that were had on the preview show yesterday about maybe Henderson playing or them changing the three. But I'm glad that he kept with the same players that he had faith in the Euros. I was surprised that Stones played. I understand why he played, but has Stones played this season for Man City?
I want to comment on that. In that, no, Stones hasn't played this season, and I thought there were times he looked really rusty. I felt he got caught out 2 or 3 times in the first half, which you wouldn't expect a defender who's been playing, say, 3 games in the Premier League to be at. He looked rusty. He looked a smidge behind the game, I felt. So, yeah. But, if him and Maguire are going to make a really strong partnership, you've got to keep them together. I think in the preview match that I watched from you guys last night, there was the big debate about in behind those two. There ain't much out there in terms of centre-backs. We all agree that Mings is a bit average. Gomez on his day might be good, but who the heck's Gomez in the last season? I don't know. I mean, but to be fair to the lad, he's hardly played for his club, never mind his country. He had all the potential, so I can't comment. And after that, where do we get to? The centre back at Burnley, for God's sake. So yeah, we've got to stick with Stones. and Maguire, because there's nothing else that seems to be bolted on. Any other thoughts, Mr. B, before we move to a bit of science and Potsy?
No, I was pleased with the performance. Grealish, very impressed with Grealish today. Sterling is a starter for England, guaranteed now. He performs he never lets the country down at all. Yeah, no, I was just impressed. I'm just glad that they carried on there doesn't seem to be a hangover from the disappointment of the Euros. And yeah, moving forward, I think they just keep on doing what they're doing. Harry Kane, I know Monday keeps digging at Harry Kane. I thought he had a decent game today. He could have, Jesus Christ, he could have had 5 today. He could have had 5 today, so.
If only he didn't miss that week of training.
Maybe.
Bit of match sharpness.
Mr. B, do you remember, you picked out Sterling, and he seems to play better for England than he does or has done for the last 6 months for City. Do you remember back in the day when Emil Heskey used to play for England, and he was fantastic for England, but actually pretty average in that Leicester team?
Well, crap for his club.
Come on, don't tell me you didn't. And it's a bit like that. Occasionally you get a player who performs better for his country than his club. Just a thought.
Do you think it's... You see, with Pep, looking at Pep, I see him as being very, very tactical and meticulous in what he wants his players to do. Do you think that Sterling has maybe got a little bit more freedom in regards to his own game, playing under Southgate, maybe?
Perhaps Pep is more prescriptive. You're right. And perhaps Southgate gives him more freedom. Let's move it across the pot. See, I'm interested in your views on the game. Also, thoughts on formation, a bit of science, bit of technical. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of these things where I'm not too surprised by the decisions made in terms of the lineup. Hungary, as you say, in the Euros, they were meant to be the group of death whipping boys, and they certainly weren't. They were very tough opposition. So we knew there was always a risk, and we had to be careful. I feel in the first half, we did look a bit slow, did seem to struggle a bit. It wasn't great viewing. But second half, I think from near the start, Kyle Walker's ball that went right through the defence to Harry Kane to create that chance. That just seemed to give the team a bit more confidence. That seems to open them up to think, we can find gaps in this Hungary side. And yeah, in the second half, we managed to run away with it. As you say, Sterling, for me, gives me Danny Welbeck vibes in that sense.
Interesting. Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Playing for England compared to the last few months. And obviously the meticulous side of things in terms of Guardiola's coaching, it is a bit weird how Sterling sort of dropped off in that sense, because, since Guardiola was there, he was playing at a really high level for City and then seems to have dropped off, but he's kept a really good form for England, which is obviously great for us. Jack Grealish, it's great to see him starting, and I think he's gained a lot of confidence from the start he's had at City. And he's taken that into this game as well. He's looked really good. The defence, as we say about Stones, we really don't have any other options at centre-back. And that is definitely a concern going forward. But absolutely right. Looked at a bit of ring rust, but overall, it did the job that was needed. Pickford, wasn't really tested, but he never seems to let us down when wearing the England shirt as well. So there's a confidence in the back four. Declan Rice looked brilliant. Calvin Phillips looked great as well. I think Southgate is confident this is the lineup. Maybe there may be some changes in the front three with the quality that we have up there, especially when the likes of Foden come back, of course, and Sancho's at match fit and everything. But this looks to be the team that he wants to build on going forward and going to Qatar. And yeah, the only thing with Harry Kane, we're talking about City trying to buy him as a striker. I think United should have bought him for the CDM role, because he's back there more than he's in the box. And I think he still do a better job than Fred there. But Yeah, apart from that, I don't like the fact that Harry Kane drops that deep for us. I really don't. This is where your creative midfielders have come in. Leave them to do that role and let Harry Kane be the goal scorer that he is.
Cool.
It's like when we had Harry Kane taking corners at the Euros.
Yeah.
Like, it's just you don't waste the best striker in the world doing those sorts of roles.
Yeah, maybe Southgate. I'm certain Pep would never let him do that. No. And when we're saying with Amondi that Pep is more prescriptive and Southgate gives more freedom, he's a softer guy in general. Pep, when we see in the documentary, he is full on. You don't cross with him. And yet, I think Southgate is a more empowering sort of manager. A couple of thoughts came to me. Firstly, when Harry Kane got that ball from Kyle Walker, which is the perler, and then he missed it. Yeah. And I thought, I bet he was so freaked out by getting such a good ball from right back that Sergio Aurier he's never seen a ball. Maybe occasionally from left back. But he was so freaked out by a ball from right back. I did think about that at the time.
He was getting flashback from when Walker used to do it for him at Tottenham.
Yeah. There's that wonderful joke that says, when Harry Kane's really old and his son's saying to him, he says, "Oh, Dad, what a shame, we all get old. Can we go around Uncle Kyle's house to check out his models?" But my other thought is, and I think Pickford is a great shot stopper, and he did some good work in his 6-yard box. I agree with that. But my criticism is always, after I watch Alisson and I watch Ederson, is his rate of distribution. And he annoys me in that I've never seen Alisson and Ederson go, calm down. He runs out with the ball in his hand as though he's going to throw it forward, and then he stops and he doesn't. He looks all blood and guts, and then he can't see the same opportunities that Ederson and Alisson do. And I don't like it when he then goes, slow down, take it easy. That's where I feel we lose a bit of momentum at key times. Anyway, I'm going to just quickly going to go through some comments.
Yeah, before you do, I think when Pickford was playing like 11-side football, Alisson and Edson were playing futsal and relaxed and probably playing a striker and bagging in goals. There's a difference.
Can I just ask you, so do you think that's a really unfair comparison? Because you've got Alisson and oh Jesus Edison. Christ, his name's gone. Yeah, you've got the two best at distributing, and you're trying to compare. You've really dropped Pickford in the shit with that comparison, because he's got no chance.
It's similar to De Gea, but do we want to win the World Cup or do we not? Because if we want to win the World Cup against teams like Brazil, we've got to have a goalkeeper who's either the best in the world or nearly the best. It's a question of ambition. You're right. If I was a team that would be happy getting to the quarterfinals or just the knockout stage, then I would take it. Yeah, I'm fine. Pickford's great. But if you have enough ambition to say, we're in the World Cup tournament, we want to win it, and it's fine against Hungary, but it won't be fine against Italy, or it won't be fine against Brazil, to be able to get that momentum. The only way we'll get past teams like Argentina, Italy, Brazil, those hard to break down teams sometimes, is by fast distribution from the back. That's, it's just those, it's that bit extra that takes you to the final and wins it, then rather than just quarterfinals. That's all I'm picking at.
I will sort of back you up on that, Ian, because Pickford's distribution was seen as one of his strengths when he first went to Everton. And he's never really kicked on from there. Now, whether it's a rush of blood when he starts running and he thinks, oh shit, the manager doesn't actually want me doing this, potentially is a tactic from Southgate. He doesn't want to be that risky. Let's be honest, Southgate ball is boring. Let's be honest. So potentially he wants to play it a bit safer. But you're right, Pickford, for the time he's had, at Everton, he's never seemed to have cracked onto the potential we thought there was. But in England's shirt, he's never let us down. But you're absolutely right. The distribution should be a lot better for a player of his quality.
If Walker and Stones get that sort of service behind them week in, week out, it becomes a bit alien when you don't. And it kind of just... Let me read out a few comments. Let me power through. Mr. K was first one out of the evening. Come on, England. Evening, Mr. K. Devils United, great win for England tonight. Good to see Luke Shaw assisting Maguire again. He did. He played generally well, apart from that time he got skinned and the ball went across the area, and I thought they were going to score.
Ian. We'll come back to that point. We'll come back to that. Skin.
All right, we'll come back to that. He got skinned. Talk MU says, big up everyone. Maybe
he's camping at the moment.
He's camping. Oh, that's very nice of him. Devils United. Hey there, Mr. B. You're just the most popular guy on the show. Big up, guys. Yeah.
Big up, Solo.
Big up, Solo. Smash those likes and subscribes. Absolutely. If you're watching this show, if you're new, you've got to subscribe. And if you really like it, just tell your mates. Get them on the blower. Use Twitter, whatever it takes. Adam, baby boy Morris, boom. Still doesn't feel the heartbreak of the final. Yeah, you are right. But at least we've kept the momentum going. And wouldn't it be great if we won the World Cup? But there you go. Young Gemma, as we predicted, hostile environment, and what a role model Sterling is and how he handles it all and uses it as motivation. It's an interesting one. He did handle it well. God knows what he had written on his shirt.
Yeah, he had a great chance. He fluffed a great chance.
Did anyone see what he had written on his shirt, by the way?
Love you forever and somebody's name. It was Love You Forever and somebody's name. So
was it a kid that he used to sponsor?
He got booked for it, which is not very nice.
No, yeah. I mean, for that sort of thing, I don't see why booking. I've never agreed with bookings for taking a shirt off anyway. I think it's a ridiculous booking. But
why always me?
Why always?
It does upset me when I've got a big belly and I see these big young footballers showing off their abs. Book him.
So 2021, it's all about the dad bod nowadays.
Yeah,
it's all about the dad bod.
You get booked if you got abs, but if you got a dad bod,
you're already going through enough. We're not going to book you for that.
It was hostile because when Sterling did that, I mean, it was only cups of water, but they were all over the pitch thrown at him. And you always fear that there'll be something a bit heavier than that legged. And then, I didn't hear any, and I didn't see any. But obviously, the commentators were talking about racial abuse, etc. Jem has brought it up, saying it was hostile, but we knew it was going to come. I mean, they're just idiots. It's probably not even worth talking about. Mondi, do you want to say anything or say nothing? Your call, mate.
I just think that people have to show their true spirit. If that's what they feel, if that's what they're programmed to think, we have to. I don't blame them. They're the victims of a system that makes them feel like that. Do you understand? Or it makes them programmed by the media or whatever. They're growing up to think that that's acceptable. So they're the victims, in my opinion. The people that have the power to make them feel like that, the government means mind. They're the ones who I should be pointing fingers at, and everyone should be pointing fingers at. Why are we teaching people to think this way and encouraging that? They're just sheep, in my opinion. Show their spirit. If that's what they show it. Show it to the world.
Mr. B, anything to say? You can say nothing.
No.
Nothing. Pots?
No.
It's just one of these things, isn't it? We can kneel down as much as we want, and we talk about education. We can run all these campaigns. The reality is, it's all about education. Racism is never gonna disappear in this generation. The only hope is that it could be educated into the next generation. It's like, just what's the point? I just don't get it, in my opinion. But obviously, the most important thing is the players' welfare as well, because I can't imagine having that sort of experience in my life, being judged solely for the color of my skin. So as long as the players are protected, exactly, that's all we can do. It's never going to go away. It doesn't matter how many times we kneel down. It's never going to go away in this generation. We just got to trust that the next generation will be educated better and smarter. But as long as those who have been affected and targeted by it have got the right protection and the right counselling through the team, which I'm sure, one thing I think we can credit is the Premier League and England and the FA do have like the right people in place in terms of cancelling if it's needed to support with that, especially like someone young, like Bellingham was a target, you know, that's an 18-year-old kid, you know, just running on the touchline. And yeah, older. Exactly. So as long as those who have been impacted are looked after right, that's the best we can hope for. But, you know, all this idea that it's ever going to go away, it's not.
No, thank you for that. Thank you. And yeah, I trust my daughters are in their 20s, and Nina, who was on talking to the exec the other day, and you know, the reaction I would get from her on that would be so appalled, so utterly disgusted, but it's just so alien to her and all her friends now. It doesn't even enter their thoughts in any shape. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Gemma, Gomez will put Stones under pressure for that spot, maybe. If he gets fit, and there's a big if there, I just want to see a sequence of plays. He's a talented lad. But the other person who must feel pressure is Mason Mount. Must feel Saka's breath down his neck every step of the way. I watch him on the touchline, and there's the Saka, who's my mum's favourite player. She's not an Arsenal fan; she just thinks he's a lovely lad. What else? Getting this win. I hope now next two games we'll see some bench players like Calvert-Lewin getting more time. Yes. I mean, that was the toughest group game that we've got away in Hungary. We've bagged that in some of the easier games. Yes, and you know, I meant when we went on the banter spot, and I was it wasn't meant to be funny, but and you guys can answer this as well, but. My immediate thought when they take the field in England is, God, there's 4 City players out there. Hope no one gets injured. Do you think like that? Does that go through your head all the time as well?
No, because Southgate doesn't play Liverpool players.
Oh, yeah.
No, we're sorted.
He brought Henson on at the end.
88th minute. Didn't even bother with Trent, which I can get into a whole of a show about.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah, I do get what you mean. This is one of the big reasons why I hate the international break, always the risk to the players. I'm glad that those like playing out in South America and Africa haven't been allowed to travel because of the restrictions. So as long as obviously the European lads can stay fit. But yeah, he doesn't like our players anyway.
I'd be very happy if Trent takes the next game and Walker gets a rest. I'd be very happy about that.
Yeah.
Do you worry about Maguire and Walker and...
Walker.
No, I don't. Sorry, I don't worry about them. It's great to see them play. I mean, seeing Shaw in the final score that goal and being like rated as one of the best left backs out there. This is how you get your stage. I mean, look at the World Cup in 2018. That's how Maguire got onto the world stage. Everyone was saying that guy's good. Even the Italians were saying this guy's got it. You know, he's one of the best England defenders for a long time. So I think it's good for them. These guys are professional players. They're fit. It's not like me playing on a Sunday and by the next Sunday I'm still stiff. You know, these guys are playing Sundays, Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. They can do it, and you expect them to do it for the money they're paid, for the abuse they get. You expect that they get paid for work more than enough to deal with all this. So yeah, let's go out there. One more point. Man United have got a good deep squad now. So most of our squad will be international players. I know that there's restrictions in South America and all that kind of thing. Most of our squads, like at the moment, training, it's only Greenwood on his own probably at the moment, training on his own, you know. Most of the players are out on international duty. And it's good for them. They get good experience and good exposure. And it's a different level, different game, and it's development. So I'm thinking about they become better players.
Cool. I tell you, when I was a kid and I had my first England shirt, of course, I'm Ian Shaw. So I had Shaw on the back of my shirt, and now I can't. Because if I have Shaw on the back of my England shirt, they're always going to think it's... I'm a United fan. I'm not happy about that. Anyway, my FTB boys, enjoy your muffins. Great show. What's that all about?
Adam promised us muffins if we get on the show today. We're still waiting. Still waiting on everything, but still hasn't arrived.
Mike from Spurs. Hello, Mike.
Paxton Road.
Jem, Dad Bod's rule. Right. We'll all be around your house.
We'll take our shirts off. Celebrate.
There's Foxy. Good evening, Foxy. Hi.
Tony. ARMOURY.
Gemma, stop it. Ben White is in front of him now. Right.
Oh yeah.
I'll be happy if Ben White's in front of anybody. So there you go. Look, I was worried that Saka came on at 88 minutes. He's a young lad. I'd protect him. I'd be happy he came on 88 minutes. A bit like Calvert-Lewin. A bit like Trent. I hope he gets to play the second game because he's such a good lad.
Mm-hmm.
Zach loves a bit of Joe. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, quick last question before we finish. Last question. So again, I'll start with Amondi. Standout players and anyone who worried you tonight.
Okay, so standout play for me, I was watching the last goal, Rice, and he was so influential. Go back and watch that goal, maybe a minute, 2 minutes prior to him scoring. It was a bit of a fluke. I mean, the goalkeeper should have claimed that, man. I would have picked it up and started dribbling it, But the way he intercepted the ball, and I was watching, thinking, yeah, go on, Rice, go on. Because I'm watching him specifically, because everyone's building up Rice. During the Euros, I was thinking, okay, you're good. But today, he was my man in the match. He filled in positionally, like I said earlier, about filling in with the back three, that extra man, a bit of safety. He's strong. He anticipates balls. He's fearless, He's proud to be out there. He's a very confident player. Distribution is pretty good as well. He's a big unit as well. And that goal, the final goal, he was involved in that goal. And prior to him scoring, I think, yeah, you're playing well. So for me, Rice is man of the match. He stood out for me. For them, the number 10, I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. I tried it on the show yesterday. He went from Salzburg to Red Bull. Number 10, the way he was taking all the free kicks and skying it into the crowd. A talented guy. Apart from that, no real standouts for me. Their goalkeeper, man. Wow. Who is the Crystal Palace goalkeeper? Bring him back.
Awita.
No, years ago. Hungarian.
Calabri or something like that. He wore like the joggy bottoms.
Yes, yeah. Bring him back. He'd be better. He must be about 50. He'd be better than this guy.
My mates will kill me for this. Anyway, Gemma agrees with you. Mr. B, because we have an interesting something coming up. Standout player, anyone who worried you?
Standout player? I expected Sterling to be good, but I like the way Grealish played today. I think he's the one who I really, really want Southgate to not be able to drop, because I think Southgate, one, didn't trust him before the Euros, and he's earned his trust, but I want him to keep on being that guy, the guy that always keeps unlocking the door. I think Jack Grealish is absolutely fantastic. So I want Grealish. Grealish for definite was the player that I thought was great. The Hungarians, I have the guy you're talking about with the free kicks. I didn't even know that was the same guy from the Euros, because in the Euros he looked good. But today I didn't think he was anything really. What I will say, and that we haven't discussed, just a quick one, is Maguire's goal. I think that benefits United for the rest of the season. What is this guy? Who's Darmesh?
We'll come to this in a minute, if he's right.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's
it's Gareth Southgate, not Gareth. So
yeah, I think yeah.
Come back to that. Okay, Potsy, standout player.
I've got to agree with Amondi. Race, I thought was I do really rate him. I thought he had a great Euros, and I think it was also the second goal. I think it was Kane's goal where he intercepted the ball and started that move. And he just seems to have a much more growing influence within that team now, and is definitely a guaranteed starter on for Southgate and for England going forward. So for me, it's Declan Rice today.
A little one mention from me. I thought Phillips again had a good goal. They call him the Yorkshire Pirlo, but I tell you what, he's becoming the Yorkshire Fernandinho in my view. His interception, his breakup, his destruction play, I thought was great. He really is reading the game better and better and better. Foxy reckons it's fake news about Southgate.
I've been having a look. I don't see anything reported.
Okay. Daresh reckons Gareth Southgate leave at England at the end of the World Cup. It's an interest. And Gemma's having a laugh. She's been on the squash. It's an interesting thought, though. If you're Gareth Southgate and your stock is that high, you got to the final of the Euros, you've got a chance of going nearly all the way in the World Cup. It might not be a bad bit of marketing to do that. It's a bit of a Pep Guardiola, isn't he?
Yeah, he's. Yeah, he wouldn't be. He wouldn't be going anywhere. I'll be very surprised if that was to like be announced anywhere officially that Southgate was to leave after the World Cup. Very surprised.
No chance.
Although I know who it should be taken over.
Here we go. According to my sources, Sky Sports aren't reporting Southgate leaving from Adam, and we trust Adam. In Adam, we trust. He is the man. He is the man.
It's probably Garth leaving from Southgate Station on the underground. Who knows? You never know these days. People pick up of anything.
Right. Last word. Just last comment on the evening on Monday. Sum it up in a sentence.
Overjoyed. England still on a high. Great performance there. The group, when you look at the group, it's terrible. Poland the only good team in there, really, if they're half good. But this is the only mistake. Oh, sorry. One more thing. I just think I'd rather see a group with harder teams in it because we're going to go to the World Cup in the heat, play a decent team, and lose. Who do we play? Who was the first decent team we played in the Euros? Italy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What, Germany?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay, you got me there. All right.
Mr. B, one sentence to sum up your evening.
Without swearing. It was a great evening, great second half. I'm looking forward to Southgate resting a lot of. We've got Andorra next, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that right? Jesus Christ. Yeah, play Henderson, play Trent, give those second-rate players a run out for that game.
Oh, hey, wait. Let's restart the show. Here comes another hour. You
knew I wasn't going to leave. You knew I couldn't leave without dropping.
Mr. B, back counteract that skins, that Shaw got skins, because he mentioned that earlier.
He did.
He didn't. We didn't see it.
All right, okay. Potsy, last sentence of the evening, sir.
Look, job done. We were expected to beat Hungary. We've gone out there, probably done better, especially in that second half than expected. I would say it would be great for the Andorra game to see other players. I was kind of disappointed we didn't see Bamford tonight because I think we should have took him to the Euros. So it would be good to see him get a run out against Andorra. Obviously, allows him to take some players out, allows to obviously re-plug in the fridge in Maguire and make sure he's charged up, ready for Poland. Yeah, let's get to the big one against Andorra. Should be a tricky game. He'll play three-holder midfielders. I wouldn't be surprised.
I have to put up Stu Mack's comment here. You know, okay, it's a bit pessimistic, but it's kind of funny. Anyway, so Potsy, you and Gemma reckon join us on Sunday to see a Trent masterclass.
I can't like. I mean, any time Trent goes on a pitch, it's a masterclass, but it's fucking Andorra, man. I'm not going to be like, I'm not going to be getting excited over Andorra. I remember when Stevie G used to put goals against them and it was like, oh, Stevie G is like, mate, it's Andorra. Like, our under 12s could beat them.
Anyway, we will be covering it. That's a nice way to finish, to say, you've been watching FTB Sports. Share us, like us on Twitter, on Instagram, join us on Facebook, or phone up your mates, text your mates, WhatsApp your mates, and we will be back on Sunday evening with the England bandwagon rocking on. Cheers. Have a lovely evening.
Thank you.